And we are live. Hello and welcome to Developer Insights. I'm David.
And I'm Justin.
And together we are the leads on game development and design here at Codename.
We also founded Codename too.
We're going to be your hosts for this episode and for every episode.
Yeah, can't get rid of us, no matter how hard you try.
Seems to be the case.
Today is our 116th episode, or is it our 117th episode?
What?
I'm not really sure how leap years work for streaming.
Why would it have any effect on streaming?
Wait, are you sure? Like, do we have to check our shadow or something today?
No, that's Groundhog Day.
Is this the day when the day and the night are the same length?
Equinox. You're thinking of the equinox.
Wait, does the leap days have anything to do with long jumping?
No, that's the Summer Olympics.
All right. Well, I'm not really sure what the point of this day is.
Yeah, I think it's to fix a balance issue in the calendar. Balance issues. That's something you know about, right?
Wouldn't know anything. Anyway, today we are here to answer development and design questions about Idle Champions.
And if you don't ask any questions, you may have to suffer through Justin's one-man reenactment of Final Fantasy VII Remake. That's the new one, right?
Yeah, it just came out yesterday, but I've already finished it.
Wait, what? How?
I finished the original Final Fantasy 27 years ago, so I've kind of already finished it.
I hear they changed some of it.
No way. Really? No.
Okay. Anyway, as always, we have pulled forward some questions from the previous show, and we will get to those. We'll get to answering some of those while we wait for new questions to come in. But before we get to those, it always says I have updates on items we flagged. We have not been great on the updates lately, primarily because everyone has been so focused on getting collections out, which went out yesterday, as well as getting the new Events 2.0 system finished and ready to go, which is going out, of course, next week. So we really haven't had time to get a lot of these little items taken a look at, which hopefully should change after next week because of those releases. So I do still have a list of in-progress items, but to be honest, I think I'm just going to skip it today for that very reason, because it is a repeat.
Fair enough.
Hopefully we will start to get some of those knocked off.
I think we've got a couple of questions that we can get to.
It looks that way. Okay. But let's start with questions left over from last week.
Or we can just quickly just do announcements, just in case.
No.
Just in case nobody.
Already got the first one covered. The second one,
All right, fine. I won't let people know that there's an Events 2.0 blog coming out tomorrow at noon.
Okay.
Nobody needs to know that.
You don't need to do it.
There we go.
Perfect.
Won't do it.
Moving on to questions. Let's see. First question left over from last week is from Fewer Pills, and they would like to know, can you please make it possible to add tanking pigments to Minsk? I think it could be pretty cool to buff him to be an amazing tank.
Yeah, so...
Does he have no... What? Why?
Well, he doesn't have tanking pigments because he doesn't have the tanking role.
We can add it.
Well, he doesn't have the tanking role because he's not a tank champion.
Well, we could modify him so he is a tank champion.
Well, that is what Dynahair does, but it is a bit of a slippery slope there to do that. And we did see this question, we saw this as feedback last week, and we talked about it internally. I think for now we're going to hold off on giving Minx the tanking role. I think it could just be a little bit confusing to people to be like, why does he have a tanking role when he doesn't have any tanking abilities? Because it requires another champion to enable that on him. So I think for now we're going to leave it off and avoid that potential confusion for newer players. But it could change in the future.
Okay. Next question. This one is from Kalarnan1. With the end of seasons, will we also see an end to discounted time gate piece costs for specific champions? If not, what will govern which champions receive a discount?
Yeah, so the plan right now, is for the discounted time gate pieces related to seasons at least to go away. We don't really have any other plans to bring anything else back that will discount time gates. But I will say, and the reason I brought this question up is that time gates are fairly high on our list of things to reevaluate, especially after Events 2.0 go out. We'll want to be taking a look at those and modernizing them, because certainly the bang for your buck from Events 2.0 is going to be a lot higher than the bang for your buck from time gates.
Okay. Yep, questions are coming in. Great. That's it for last week's questions. No, you pulled just 2 questions?
I just pulled 2. We actually didn't get a lot of questions last week. I think everyone was kind of holding their breath, waiting for collections. And so we have several questions about collections this week.
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Okay, then getting into the new questions. First one out of the new questions is also from Fewer Pills. And Fewer Pills simply says first. Wait, nope, that's not how this works. Question is...
This isn't YouTube comments, Dave.
Why are there impossible quests? Oh, I see this a couple of times here now. Why are there impossible quests for completing variants or adventures with or without patrons? It makes it pointless to try and reach 100% during the entire lifetime of Idle Champions, and it would make way more sense to just release those quests when they are possible. Could you reevaluate to delay the release of those only to when they are possible?
Yes. Yes, obviously. It was not intentional to release quests that were not completable due to the content not being out yet. I think we got a bunch of this stuff, but we missed a couple, so we are going to be going through and disabling those quests so that they don't appear until they are doable.
Or they don't provide any spoilers.
Yes, that too. But our intention is for it to be possible to, in a moment, in a given moment, to be possible to 100% the collections dialogue.
Is that in a moment or for a moment?
It's in a moment. It's for a moment. It's at a particular moment. Like when the pilot says, "We will be landing momentarily." And it's like landing and then immediately taking back off again. No. That's a stolen joke, sir. But yes, the intent is for the collections dialogue to be 100%able at any particular time. Of course, if you 100% it and then we roll out more content, your 100% will go away. So it's something that you will need to maintain. The intention is that if you could magically stop us from releasing everything right now, that you'd be able to go and do all the stuff to get 100% in the collections dialogue. And that's something that doesn't currently exist. There's some cleanup we have to do, and we will get that done.
Okay, next question is from Dark Drake 210. Can you add a track all button in the collections quest page, please?
I think we could do that. I was kind of, I looked at this before we released, and I was kind of waffling on it because I think there are more collection quests in there than I kind of thought there would be, but I guess with 8 campaigns or 7 campaigns and all that they add up. So I think we can add that for sure. We'll just have to see when we get some time to prioritize on that. We're prioritizing the things that make it impossible to 100% it right now, and sort of other bugs, like there's some stuff in the timegate page that isn't showing up correctly. But once we get through all that, we can start to look at some of those quality of life features, like the track all button. Should be relatively easy to put together.
Okay, next question. This is from Library of Akasha. And they say /ask, Shandy fan here, still hoping and waiting on Fenn's patron oath becoming like Strongheart's seasoned knight. I guess it's more of a statement.
That is more of a statement.
Yeah.
Cool, yeah, me too. No.
Okay, yes.
Yes, that is on our list of things to do. And we are hoping to get some time to do that. I do have to check in with Dev and make sure that they're not going to murder me, because I know that when we switched Season Night over to be all parties, there were a couple of nights there where I thought I was going to wake up with a horse head in my bed or something, because I was getting some glares. So hopefully we can do that. I'll highlight it and bring it up with Peter tomorrow. He may or may not murder me.
Do you have a horse? Like, isn't the reference like that's his horse? So, like, I think
it'll be like there'll be like some of my daughter's stuffed animals or something with their heads ripped off.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Okay, then in that case, what is first? You have to buy a horse. Yeah.
Okay, I'll go buy a horse, and then we'll see what the dev team does.
Sorry, I just want to give a clever name for your horse. But next question. This one is from Fewer Pills. Can you give us collection quests to reach Area 2000 on every adventure? And I would love to do to bring the highest zone reached on. Oh, you're covering up the.
Yes, I am.
Yep, on those
Yeah.
to the limit, and a small bonus reward for doing that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, so I think the kind of design philosophy behind the collection quests doesn't really match up with having that kind of goal in mind. But I do think that there is an appetite for that kind of thing, and so I'm gonna try and find a way to get something like that into the game. But it's probably not going to be directly through collection quests. It would probably be another system, and there is a system I have in mind, but it's still in the percolating phase. But yeah, I'd like to do something like that.
Okay, next question. This is from Emote. The new collections dialogue is all about getting stats to 100%, but you've added some quests that legitimately won't be possible for at least 2 years. Could you not do that, please? All the bars available now should be 100%able.
Agreed. Yeah, yeah. We're gonna do a pass through the quests and make sure that all of them are completable. And I will continue to answer every single one of these questions that ask this, just so we can get this across that yes, it is our intention that everything be 100%able now.
When?
Now.
Meow?
Now.
Right, meow.
You're looking at now, sir.
Yes.
When?
On Mr. Rental. Next question is from Delkin. Does the Hammerman skin become available in-game at some point in the future? It's out for several years now. This was originally released as a part of a Kickstarter campaign for Dwarven Forge, is the note that
Mars put on there. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the plan is for releasing some of those, like, platform or like Kickstarter specific.
Oh, look,
things.
Look, it's in the chat. We've got a wild Chris in the chat.
Oh, it'll be in wild offers shortly, says Chris. Okay.
Well, there we go.
Great. Spoiler from Mr. Dupuis. He's lurking.
That's his specialty, right?
I know. I tried to steal it from him a little while ago, but there we go.
Okay.
All right. So that'll get organized away. There's actually, I should note that, one of the big issues we saw yesterday with the release of collections was the skins and familiars, having some skins and familiars where it wasn't exactly clear where they came from. And I know Chris was up all night, all day and all night,
Yep,
tirelessly trying to figure out where those things were supposed to go. And we have them all organized and categorized now. And so it's just a matter of getting that data into the client. With some handy-dandy icons. So I think that is happening.
Okay. Oh, this one looks fun. I was trying to read through this earlier. This next question is from Emote. So apparently Nodrum's bonus XP earned stat in the user data is of a type double. But the achievement that tracks that amount is downcast to an integer.
What?
I know, right? This is a problem for me because my Nordrum's bonus XP earned is 9.32 e to the 9, which when cast down overflows and becomes less than 0, meaning the new collections dialogue believes I don't have that achievement. Well, maybe you shouldn't have so much. Anyway, could
Maybe
overflows...
you shouldn't play the game so much, says Dave. Thanks, Dave. That's very helpful.
What's the solution? Could overflows, downcasting, signed data types be looked into generally in the stats and collections?
Yeah, so I'll bring this one up with Peter tomorrow. I remember you were mentioning this yesterday in Discord when I was lurking in there. And I think it's something we can look at. We can look at in this specific case. My concern with kind of generally is that I don't know that there'd be a general solution to that. So it's probably something we do need to look at on a case-by-case basis. There's also just a lot of cases where it doesn't make sense to have a lot of very specific code if you've got something that's not going to potentially track up billions and billions of times. Yeah, we can definitely take a look at that. I imagine that is something specific to the achievement stat handler because we certainly, I think we have other achievements that certainly go go to double size. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously if this only changed with collections and not previously, like we were still tracking that.
I think it probably wasn't a change with collections. Emote probably just lost the achievement once they passed 4 billion
I see.
2 billion or wherever it was when it flipped over.
Well, shit.
But it hasn't been an issue until now
Yeah.
when you can't 100% the achievements.
Okay. Next question. Here, you're going to love this one, Justin. This is from Library of Akasha. So, any updates on the Trials of Mount Tiamat rework? Do you have any vague timeline on when it might be released?
So
Have you started on it?
there is a Trials of Mount Tiamat rework that has been designed. In fact, I've done even a bunch of the kind of data content design for it. But that is something that is not currently on the priority list. We've got a bunch of kind of smaller systems that are on the priority list, but it is on the list of things I want to do.
2022.
In 2022. Thank you. They'll never live that down. That and prime numbers, I'll never live them down.
Is 2022 a prime number, Justin?
No.
You sure?
I figured that one out. It's
Okay.
divisible by 1011. So yeah, I would like to do that Trials of Mount Tiamat rework. I think it's been about a year and a bit maybe since I actually did the design for it. So I'll have to take a look at it and see if the design's still good. But yeah, it is the intention
Needs
that
a
we do
rebalance.
something there. Yeah, we need to rebalance that. Yeah.
All right.
I can answer
Can you
this
grab that one?
here. Yeah.
Next question. This is from Emote. Now that Legendary Dismantles will be with the quarterly celebrations, does this mean that they will only last 1 week instead of 3? Also, could you let us know roughly when the next one will be? I'd make some plans assuming the Season 8 dismantle would happen, but then it didn't. And now my formation is stuck in limbo
Oh my gosh.
until the next one.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so yes, they will be 1 week instead of 3. I believe that's the plan. It might be, yeah, no, I think 1 week is what it'll be, because the celebrations are almost always exactly 1 week, except for the occasional time when they're
There's
not.
not space on the dialogue.
There isn't space in the dialogue for more chests. Yeah, so they'll be 1 week long. The next one, I think, is going to be in April, but I'm not sure. If Chris is still lurking, he might be
He
able
might
to
have the
spoil that for you. But I don't know specifically. In Chris's defense, I have been told, I've just forgotten. So, I'm wrong.
He's wrong.
What am I wrong about, Chris? Am I wrong about when is it in March?
In general. I think
Is
he's
it-
just in
is it in
general.
May?
This is
No, he's not going to elaborate. I'm just wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I knew it the whole time. Okay. Next question is from Babilly G 2000. With seasons on hold, would you consider having some discounted time gate champions every month or so?
So I would consider that. It's not currently the plan. It's not a bad kind of consideration. Like I said, sort of at the first question about time gates, we want to sort of think about how to rework time gates in a post-Events 2.0 world. So what that will look like, I'm not 100% sure. But I could definitely see it including discounted time gate champions from time to time. Especially if it was something, during downtime that we could, between events, that we could get folks excited about, or maybe later in events when maybe a lot of people might have been finished their events. So I could see there being some stuff there, but really no plans right now. No solid plans.
Okay. Next question. This is from Numantis. Would you be open to reconsidering your fix to Havilar? Being able to isolate a single mob and slow them to a crawl so you can swap a gold find team in is incredibly useful for gold farming with Azaka. Perhaps you could limit the number of slow applications to a reasonable number instead of just capping it at 1.
Yeah, so I think there's something that we're trying to develop. Is basically what is too far in terms of sort of exploitation of mechanics, and what we want to try to prioritize fixing in that case. I think that having a way to basically pause an area entirely and just have one mob that can never, ever, ever reach your formation is probably not going to be something that we're going to bring back. Knockbacks, stuff like that, I have less of an issue with because they might fail But having an enemy just stop completely such that you can basically have whatever champions you want in there and have no risk to those champions at all is I think a little bit too far. So I think I think that's probably not something we're going to bring back for Havilar. It was actually never, like, I was actually surprised to find out that this was a thing, because certainly wasn't part of the design that could ever stack. So yeah, I don't think we're going to roll back that bug fix. But I think there are other ways. Like we saw a lot of feedback to this of like, oh, Zaka farming is completely dead. Like you can't do it at all anymore. And like I think there are still many ways to do it. Just maybe not quite as efficient as.
Wait, didn't Zaka farming exist before Havilar?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. It just got really, really efficient. Yeah.
Okay. What? Oh, I see. Reading ahead. My bad. Next question. This is from Jornathus. That's the name. It's a very upsetting name. At the end of an event 2.0, if you have token balance over 7,500, the game will auto buy chests. Which champ's chests does it buy?
This is a good question. I just wrote this code last week. So
so it's bugged and it doesn't buy any.
Well, I don't know. I should probably test it before release, huh? So the way it works is it looks at how many champions you have unlocked in the event, so 5 or 6, and it will basically divide your remaining tokens by the number of champions you've unlocked, and if it's greater than 7,500, it will buy an equal number of. It'll first buy an equal number of chest packs for each champion that you've unlocked, and then with all the remaining tokens. So if you have less than an even, or if you have some left over after evenly buying every champion you've unlocked, 1 or more chest packs, it'll just randomly pick from the remaining or from the champions you've unlocked. So, for example, if you've unlocked 3 champions in the event and you have enough tokens to buy 8 packs, it'll automatically buy 2 for each champion, and then it'll just randomly pick 2 of the champions for the remaining 2 packs. Does that make sense?
I'm not sure. I wasn't listening to you.
Anyway, it'll buy down until you've got less than 7,500 tokens. If you want to prioritize, manually spend. This is not intended to be a, hey, just wait until the end and the game will optimally buy chest packs for you. This is intended to be a, hey, I forgot to spend my tokens, but I really wanted to, but here are some chests as consolation for that.
Okay. Going up. All right, next question. This one is also from Joranathis. Where in the collections do you see something like Zorbu's collected stacks?
Nowhere. That is not something that we are displaying in the collections. I'm actually a little bit torn on how tightly to kind of integrate like the champion profile dialogue and the champion collection dialogue, because I do see where there could be some use in basically being able to see all the champions' upgrades and skills and whatnot, and any stacking stuff in the collections dialogue. But it's also stuff that is directly replicated in the champion profile dialogue. And it's a similar thing with the patron dialogue in the collections. How much of the stuff that's on the patron dialogue in the game do we want to replicate in the patron collection screen? So we're still trying to figure out exactly where the balance is between those two. Yeah, I'll let you know when I know.
Okay.
Oh, look at you just going and highlighting
highlight
questions
these
for you to answer. Look at that.
Highlight all the questions. All right, next question. This is from Randram. Can the variant A Brief Escort Through the Realms, Adventure ID 2, please be deleted?
Well, that's rather extreme.
I know. So it stops showing up and falsely claiming incomplete content in the new collections interface.
Yes, this is something that I believe we've said this a dozen, maybe 2 dozen at this point times on Discord and other places.
You're going to say it again, aren't you?
We will be deleting that adventure so that it does not mess up anyone's collections. Ironically, maybe not ironically, coincidentally, I'm not going to pull an Eric here. Coincidentally, we deleted on dev and noticed that we immediately stopped spawning wild offers. And the reason for this is because the wild offer system, in order to determine that you are through the tutorial and can now generate or have wild offers generated for you, looked for that completion data. So I wonder if, since it's showing up as incomplete for some people in collections, if this actually meant that there were some people who never had wild offers generated for them since we rolled out the system, or since we rolled out whatever A/B test change that just skipped that adventure.
Huh.
Maybe that explains why the wild offer revenue went down.
That is an interesting thought.
Anyway, so we're going to nix that, and it will hopefully start working.
All right, there are people in the chat saying
I have
it's
incomplete and I get wild offers.
It must be something else.
All right, well there must be something else going on there.
Okay.
It was stopping the wild offer generation that I was looking at yesterday.
Interesting.
Maybe that's because of how we marked it as. It's probably because of how we marked it as disappeared on dev.
Right.
Anyway.
Okay, next
fixed.
question.
That's fine. It's all
This
good.
is from OG17. Why is collections timegate progress reduced for characters you haven't opened timegates for, and equipment progress reduced for characters that aren't fully legendary? These are not things that would be completed with normal play, and suggesting that legendary levels be spread across the roster is actively misleading.
Yeah, these are both bugs. The timegate progress shouldn't actually be counting towards 100%ing collections. That's going to get fixed. As well, legendaries also not going to be something that counts. We actually need to do a little bit of clarification on some of the progress bars about which progress bars are premium only, because there are certainly some that show up, like on the skins. If you've got premium progress turned off, you can be at 100% skins, 100% standard skins, random percent skins with it, or champions with at least one skin, and like 2% premium skins purchased, and it looks like it's incomplete, but it actually is complete for as far as the premium progress off progress is concerned. So I think we need to do a better job of flagging which bars count towards the overall progress and remove a couple that are incorrectly counting. The timegate screen I think is essentially just supposed to be informative and not really supposed to count towards collections. We don't want to encourage people to open a timegate for every single champion and then just close it immediately. Like that's just silly.
It's a great use of timegate tokens.
Yeah, well,
Pieces.
people have a lot of them and they can do that, but it's not the intention of that screen. That one's intended to be more sort of self-driven than.
Hopefully nobody did that. Well,
I imagine somebody probably did.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Next question is from Randram. With the previous statements of that we aim to release a new core every 3rd season or so, how will we get new cores when Season 9 will never happen as a replacement method?
That's a good question. Not one we have completely figured out yet. We do have one new place where we can release some of that fancy content, and that is through event champion tier rewards. So it's possible, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, but it's possible that an event champion could have that as a reward for completing all of the variants of a certain tier. Probably the 3rd or 4th tier, if I had to guess. But don't know. Can't say for sure.
Good answer.
I just don't know.
You've had a few of those today.
You know what? There are questions to which I do not know the answer, but I still want to acknowledge that the question exists and that I am not
You're just skipping
omnipotent.
We got a few here you could go back to.
No, that's fine. Next question here is from Jorathanis.
Oh, I love this question because it's really long, and I'm just going to say yes at the end. So
Great. So Jorathanis, here comes your question, and after that will come Dave's detailed response. They say, when using many blacksmith contracts on the screen after you have picked the champ, and when you click use, it is hard to use the right amount without trial or error if you want to stop at a specific eye level, because that screen obscures the eye level info for the champs displayed behind it. Will you consider adding the eye level to this screen and also show what the new eye level will be if the use button was clicked, given the number of contracts chosen?
yes.
Excellent. Didn't see that coming.
Surprises, huh?
Next question here is from OG17, who asks, could we have a fourth formation hotkey? 3 formations is awkward because they're typically always taken by push, gold find, and speed, but there's often use for a fourth utility setup. Having only 3 hotkeys means either manually loading the 4th formation every time or manually reassigning favorites throughout the run. Using the R key would make sense, with resets, used once per run, moving to another key. And Mars is seconding this. Speed on Q, push on W, gold find on E, and utility on R. But then where would we put the reset button? We'll move it to E.
Yeah. I mean, I can see this being something that we could potentially do. Let's figure out what hotkey it would be. Use Shift Q. Yeah. Yeah, it's something. I think it's something we can consider.
All right. We'll add it to the consideration list.
For your consideration.
All right, and now, for everyone's consideration, it's 2:30, and you know what that means?
You have to go to the dentist?
It means I gotta go to the bathroom.
2:30?
Bye. Oh, 2:30. Oh, boo! We're not even at the end of the show yet. That's not fair.
Sneaking an extra one in there.
Anyway, what it actually is time for our world famous gold chest giveaway. Actually, it could be any type of chest. You could go silver chests. It's time for our world famous giveaway of chests.
It's world famous.
You know, I've done this
Famous.
16 times. You think I should be good at it.
You're better
anyway,
than you started.
There's a code, or there's not a code. There's a keyword. Frick. There's a keyword in chat. Copy the keyword, paste it into the chat, hit enter.
You could type it. You don't have to copy paste.
You could even, but if you type it in, you might get it
mistake,
wrong,
yeah.
and then you won't get an entry. But if you copy and paste it in, you'll get an entry, and you'll have a chance to win 42 chests of your choice. It could be any type of chest that exists in the game. It could be just regular gold chests, I guess, if you wanted those. You could have patron chests of some sort. I guess you could ask for season 4 chests if you really like season 4, or mode run component chests, or what are some other types
Could
of
it be a
chests?
community chest?
Okay.
A savings chest? A cooperative chest? What about a credit chest? A commercial chest? A central chest?
What do we think, chat?
Foreign chest?
What's that category?
Is it a savings and loan chest?
Banks? Types of bank
Types
accounts.
of-
Yes. Types of banks.
Yes.
Calais TV. You got it.
Isn't the type of banking? Is there someone here called a shadow bank? What's a shadow bank?
Oh, you never played Mass Effect, the Shadow Banker?
Interesting.
Anyway, good luck to everyone on that giveaway.
Okay. Whoops. Yeah.
Ding.
Making noises.
Okay, so the next question here is from OG17, who says, the game runs notably poorly at the start of a run
Notably
as
so.
familiars level characters, presumably because it is constantly recalculating after each 100 level chunk of ability upgrades is purchased across 10 characters. Would a buy max levels setting improve this, so you could potentially fully upgrade a character with one tick, or in one tick?
Sort of. Potentially. I don't know how much of an improvement it would be. There might be, there's going to be some.
I guess the question is, when it's applying upgrades, does it apply the upgrade, then recalculate your damage, and then apply the next upgrade, then recalculate damage? Or does it turn off the recalculation?
100% sure internally what it's doing there. I know it gets pretty, it has to calculate every level. And so it can be quite slow. And it's got a pop-up that's added there, not that adds some additional overhead to it. I think the issue, like with how much gold you were getting would also impact that too, right? Because unless you're getting enough gold to go up to, not just max level, but some really, really high level, because every time you would get that, I kind of wonder if that would even work. Like I think you'd hit the very first time, you'd get a big chunk of gold, and it would take you up quite a few levels, because that first big chunk of gold would get you a big chunk of levels, and then the next incremental amount would then be would basically get you back to where you were with the hundreds.
I think with enough favor, you're going to get to the max level upgrade.
With enough favor,
first
but it depends on where you're at with the favor.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So like if you're really, really maxed out, then maybe. If you're not, then no.
Yeah, it's gonna slow down quite a bit, I think.
Yeah.
But I think it would.
Yeah.
I think it would save.
It'd save a little bit.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if that's particularly the reason why we would offer that particular button. I think that's a design decision that wasn't tied to a performance decision. But
yeah.
Okay. Next question is from A Fewer Pills. Can you mark the seasoned skins and familiars as premium only, please?
Yes, that is something that we are looking at, making sure that I mentioned earlier, Chris sort of went through everything and made sure all the skins were correctly categorized and all the familiars and whatnot. So that is something that we are actively working on, and we will get that sorted as soon as we can. I believe we're adding a couple of extra icons for like gem things, and there was one other, emergence, I think, is going to be another category. And yeah, so there's a couple of extra categories we're adding there.
All right, this next one is not a question.
No.
It's a statement. This is from Namonto10101. What is that in binary anyway?
It's 4, 16, and 64, so 84. Or is it?
I wonder if it's 42. There we go. I see. I get it.
No, yeah, I was off by I was off by 1.
I almost guessed that's what it was, given. Anyway.
Yeah, it's 2, 8, and 32. Yeah, 42. That makes sense.
Okay.
Never do math on stream. We should have learned that last week.
Is it math or just like a binary conversion? Anyway, this is, like I say, it's not a question. This is just a statement of thanks. Thanks for the collection update. I know there are some bugs to iron out, but it's pretty cool. Cheers to the team.
Thank you. Yes, I mean the collections update was something that
particularly been a long time in the making.
Particularly Nick has been working on for I don't know, like 6 months, something like that.
Well, we've been talking about it almost the entire time, right?
Just banging through. Yeah. Like there's a lot of dialogues, a lot of finicky stuff necessary to display a bunch of stuff that we were never really displaying before. And Nick did a great job. There are definitely some issues to iron out. We will get those issues ironed out. I think it'll be in a really good spot sort of this time next week.
Good. Just in time to release another new system.
Yeah.
Next question. This is from the Mom Unit. Is there a reason the new collection did not replace the info button?
I think we just wanted to keep it, kind of have some options in it. Like there's 4 buttons in the info button, and I know 3 of them lead to collection dialogue related things.
Is one of them the journal?
Oh, the journal. Yes,
like
the journal,
the independent journal.
Yes, the current,
which is not a news.
Yeah, so it's achievements, which we wanted to leave in there because everyone expects to be able to find achievements pretty quickly from the main thing. Quests that we wanted to highlight because the quests are kind of a more important thing, and I think we'll probably be moving the quests button elsewhere on the screen at some point. We have some plans for that. And then the collections general button, and then the journal, which also includes not just the cinematic text, but also your like chest opening log and boss kill log and stuff like that is in there too. So there's a lot of buttons in the game, and we do not have enough space for all the ones that we want. So we left that info button as a pop out.
Aren't we adding like a giant button next week?
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully so undermines your
that we don't
Running
have
out of space for all the buttons.
We are running out of space for all the buttons.
Yeah,
We're
we have
just,
to pick and choose
we
which
have a
buttons
little
we
bit of
like.
space.
Which,
I think an event button is pretty important.
I don't disagree. Yeah.
I think we already answered that one.
Okay, perfect. Next question.
Oh gosh, okay.
From OG17, collections filters don't help you find an unowned standard skin, as the list is overflowing with cache skins, and they don't help you find an unowned item, as the sum slots filter presumably only cares if the item slot is completely empty. These are normal things to look for. Can this be improved?
Yeah, absolutely. The one for skins familiars, is something that we flagged that pretty quickly after release when we were looking at it on our wheel account data on live, and I think what we're going to do is add a filter in there for the source of the skin or familiar, which should make it a lot easier to sort of filter just for like gem skins or just for non-premium skins, and then you'll be able to see. Once we get the categorization in there as well, exactly where to go to get all of them. Because there's ones from patrons that are not, patrons was another category that Dupuy found that we need to show there. But there's ones from patrons, there's one from the gem shop, there's ones from emergences and stuff like that that you should be able to find quickly. And definitely one of the intentions of collections is to help, find that content that you're missing. And so any place where it is still hard to do that, is a place where we're going to fix some stuff up.
Okay.
Let's see.
Got a few more questions here.
Yeah, I can re-answer that one.
Re-answer.
I'm not going to re-answer that one.
All right. Next question here is from Numantis. 100%ing the equipment selection or section will literally put your account back 9 to 12 months. I think I got the inflection right on that. Anyway, with the amount of scales that you have to dedicate to crafting all of the legendaries, can you please remove the legendary completion?
Yes, we did mention this earlier. Randram and Emote also call this out immediately after this question. So the intention is that legendaries do not count towards your overall progress. Some of and this is, I mentioned this earlier, but just to try and clarify, some of the data and progress bars in there are intended to be purely informational, and some of them are intended to be count towards the overall progress, which counts towards the main screen's overall progress. So in the case of the equipment, the legendaries one definitely should only be kind of informational, because it is certainly not optimal, and not intended that you should get a legendary item on every single piece of equipment for every single champion. It's probably more possible now than it was before some of the changes we made to legendaries last year, but still absolutely not intended to be something you need to do to 100%. Same with, as we were mentioning earlier, the time gates. We're not intending you to have to open one useless time gate for every single champion just to 100% collections. We will make that just completely optional. And I'm not sure what we'll do with the time gate progress bar on the main screen, but we'll find a way to kind of flag it so it's apparent that it's not required. Next question here is from Bayushi Akira, who says, can the total bonus be added back to the achievements page?
I mean, that sounds like an oversight.
It is, and I know that it's already on Peter's list. It may actually already be done and just be awaiting a build, because I know it was on Peter's list for Wilson, and it's a fairly low-hanging fruit. So
no kidding. All right, piece of cake.
But I will highlight it here just to double-check tomorrow when we chat with Peter.
All right, we won't just consider it done.
Yeah.
Next question is from Canelian. Do you have ideas for how you plan to change Strongheart with the hiatus of seasons? Will it just be as simple as removing his season level spec, or do you plan on replacing it with something else? Personally, I like a crit spec, since you reduced the value of his feats from 10 to 20% to 5 to 10%.
So the plan for Strongheart is to update his abilities that have stuff to do with seasons. And I don't think we want to make huge sweeping changes to them, but we do want to update those so that they are useful in the season pause world. I think we've got a design ready for that. I'm just trying to remember exactly what's in it. I can't remember exactly what's in it. So yeah, we've talked about a design for it. I don't remember exactly what we did. I don't think we did crit, but I think I'm trying to remember if we did something around events, if we tried to make him kind of an equivalent event speed champion or not. Oh, I think I remember. Yeah, but I'm not going to spoil it. So yes, I do remember what we're doing with him. It is related to events, yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Oh, Chad. Dear. Okay, next question. This is from Randram. 5% Waterdeep complete achievement when?
Yes, this achievement, I did talk to Chris, and I talked to Peter about this, and I talked to many people about it. We have designed it. We've got the name for it. We came up with Peter actually came up with a name, and we were like, we can't think of anything better. So that must have been really good.
Kind of a compliment?
No, it's a compliment. It was a really good out of the box. It was like the first suggestion. So yeah, we do have a plan for that. I will flag that to ask Mr. Peter what the progress is for that.
Okay. Next question. This one is from the Phoenixian Ultimatum. The new collections dialog shows us feats and skins, but no way to purchase those items through the interface, even if available for gems. Can we get the option to purchase the items available through gems through the collections interface?
Well, probably not through the collections interface.
He wants to buy it now,
but for premium items, if it's available in the shop, we do have a button on there that goes to the shop where you can buy it there, and we will. I believe we will be adding that in for gems as well. So if it's available for gems in the shop, there'll be a gems button on it that you can click to go to the shop and see the item and purchase it there.
I'm surprised we didn't have that in already, actually. But
yeah, I was too. But I guess it's
a big system.
It got missed in the reviews. We did. I mean, I will say one thing.
One thing.
Just one thing, and then I'll say nothing else for the rest of the stream. So this had better take 10 minutes for me to say this thing. Excuse me. I just swallowed my spit there. So I related this analogy to Mars in one of our one-on-ones, and he said it was really helpful for him kind of thinking about video game production and testing and QA and all that stuff. And Collections has been in development for, let's say, roughly about 6 months, maybe a little bit more. And it's been in sort of the final push since the beginning of the year. And we've done, collectively, the company did, I think, 3 full, sort of
reviews,
huge reviews where we got, as many people as we could looking at it. And then, of course, Nathaniel, our QA guy, looked at it for a bunch of times, and myself and Dupuy also spent a bunch of extra time looking at it. And yes, I will be in a box. And so collectively, between those 3 sort of company-wide reviews, and then all the time that Nathaniel spent and all the time that Dupuy and I spent, we probably spent collectively maybe 100 hours, maybe 200 hours, sort of diving deep into the thing. And this was over the course of a couple of months, these first couple months of the year. And so we were able to put in a few hundred hours, let's say. In the minutes after we released the collections dialogue, 10,000 people spent more time looking at the collections dialogue than we were able to spend looking at it as a 20 to 30 person team here in 6 months. And I think that just goes to show the power of just how many eyes there are on it after we release.
Math warning.
And so as hard as we will ever work to try and get things 100% before they go out, the order of magnitude difference in the number of eyes on it before it goes out and after it goes out means that we will never be able to catch everything. and we really do appreciate how much.
The number of eyes. You'd be surprised at how many beholders play the game.
Yes. So I mean, we're not putting out things, and I know we see this every time we do a release. It's like, oh, like they're making us beta test it. Oh, they never test anything. Oh, it's like this is not even alpha quality. I saw that comment in the Discord, and I think it just goes to show how hard game development is. And our team's relatively small. We try and put out a lot of content for you guys, and we will never be able to get it 100% perfect for you on release. Doesn't mean we won't try. But we really, really appreciate everyone who provides feedback in the days after a big system goes out, because it's really extremely valuable for us to kind of be able to prioritize, what things we missed and what things are most important as optimizations. So I do think that it's important to it's important to just realize the order of magnitude of how many people are going to look at a system before and after release, and how hard it is for us to compete with just how many eyes will be on it afterwards. I think the collections dialogue, we had the issue with the campaign screen, which I think was some sort of QA to live sort of staging issue or something. And aside from that, I don't think there were any sort of major issues with it. There's a lot of fiddly things with things labeling and collection percentages counting weirdly and whatnot. But that's all stuff that we're going to get it fixed up in the next few days. So I'm confident that the system will look pretty good within a couple of days.
Yeah, I think so too. Okay. Well, you didn't quite talk for 10 minutes, but
Dang.
you did.
I filled some time.
Not sure why people in the chat are arguing over the IQ of a hydrogen atom. That's a little odd.
There's some real meta stuff going on in chat.
Cool. Next question. This is from Niscus. I have tried to set the filters to find champions that are not fully epic. Is it currently not possible to do that in the search?
That may very well be true. I think that's a use case that seems very obvious that it would be useful. The equipment dialogue. Now this one is ironic.
Okay.
So the old collections dialogue was purely just the equipment dialogue.
That's true.
But the equipment panel in the new collection screen was actually one of the last ones that we implemented. And so I think it had the least, I think it wasn't even necessarily there on the first mass review. So there's definitely, it could use a little bit more love. I know also the check marks on it are superfluous, because at some point we updated, we originally had all the equipment icons show up, but they were grayed out if you didn't have them, and we replaced them with the circle with the cross through it if you didn't have them, which makes the green question, or the green check marks on every single piece of equipment you have completely superfluous. So there's a couple of optimizations we have to do there. I know there's also some the numbers at the top of the equipment dialog. Some of them are in scientific notation. Some of them are formatted with commas, and some of them are not formatted with commas. And I looked at that and I was like, what are we doing?
Why?
So definitely some fixes to go on the equipment dialog there, the equipment panel.
Yeah. Okay. Next, very important question here comes from the Nomercry nerd. No Mercy nerd. There we go. That's right. Nomercry. Wow. Good job, Dave. No Mercy nerd would like to know how many push-ups Justin can do.
That's a good question.
Or two.
Like a full push-up?
I don't think you're...
Can I do them from my knees?
No.
Can I do wall push-ups?
No.
I can do wall push-ups.
No.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Those are all like...
I know it looks like I've got a whole bunch of upper body strength here, folks, but
yes.
no, I don't do push-ups, man.
The camera adds 10 pounds of muscle.
I wish. How many? I got a negative number of cameras on me.
Boy. All right. We probably have time for one or two more questions here, at least one.
Oh my goodness, okay. Yeah.
And we're going to start with this one here from Garwar. Will you finally be adding the third variants to Terror in the Dark and Unearthed Evil? You never did.
That's so funny. So we saw this question, I think I saw this question a few months ago, and I went in and looked in the design doc, and like there are variants designed. They were actually designed like with the initial set, so like 7 years ago they were designed. And for some reason that escapes all memory, they've just never gotten released, to the point at which actually I looked at the designs, and one of them is actually a really horrible design. I think it's it's one of those where it's like a slot is taken up and every X levels more slots gets taken up, which obviously doesn't work with patron variants really well at all. So I think I do actually need to redesign at least one of those. The other one I just think spawns like bunnies and wolves or something. Like it's yeah.
Okay.
It's like called Forest Friends or something like that. Anyway, yeah, there are some variants there. That's a good question of when we're going to add those in. I'm going to flag that one for further thought.
All right. Let's see. One more at least. This is from Ranram. Will the variant goals be in the blog that does not release tomorrow?
That's a good question. I reviewed it this morning. I don't think they actually are in there. I know, right? I guess I can go get them now if you want to vamp for a second.
I mean, we only got a couple more minutes, so we're gonna
okay, let's see if I can get them quickly.
quickly.
Is there more questions you can answer?
I'm looking at this. It says our next question here is from a Gregarious. Yes, that's not that hard to say. I don't know why I struggled with it.
Yeah, that was weird.
Are chest types a consideration for future update to collections? Currently, the only way to see the artwork for chests is by keeping a copy in your inventory. Keeping a copy. It's just one chest, leaving one behind. Man, that makes it difficult to scroll through your inventory. I was looking through mine the other day, and literally just page after page after page of chests.
Yeah, chest type for collections could be a good one.
That's what I was thinking.
I'm trying to.
We just have a number you've collected.
Yeah, I don't think we have that. I don't think we track total number you've had. I think we only track the number you have, which could be why we decided not to do it.
I mean, it could be from this moment type thing. I mean, that was certainly always a thing that was a risk with some of these things we didn't have stats for. But
yeah. Okay, so quickly, tier 1, 75, 125, 175. That's like the original tier. Tier 2, 250, 350, 450. So if you can push a little bit further, if you can push to area 500, you can probably do those. Tier 3, 600, 800, 1000. So if you can get to area 1000, you can probably do tier 3 ones. And tier 4 for you endgame folks, 1200, 1400, 1600. Good luck doing that in a variant where it adds a escort every 25 areas.
Yikes. All right, well, we are definitely out of time.
Oh my goodness. If we didn't get to your question this week, don't worry. We will be live again at this same time next week, assuming that Events 2.0 goes out properly and I haven't buried myself somewhere to avoid your questions. But before we sign off, though, we'd like to thank our tireless mods. This week it was Mars and Gabe, right? Like I'm trying to scroll up. Yes, sure. Of course. It's always Mars and Gabe.
Not always.
It's almost always. Anyway, they're the folks who copy your questions into our questions doc so that we can answer them and make things awesome in chat. So thanks to both of you.
And of course, thanks to all of you for hanging out, watching the stream, asking such great questions, and for enjoying the game. Because without you, no one here would get to do what we do.
And we like what we do.
Right.
Still.
Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone.
Bye.
There it is.
I thought I was going to have to wave forever.
Yeah, but then I wasn't going to be able to tell you about the 2 dogs that I adopted.
Uh-oh.
I named them Timex and Rolex.
Uh-huh.
They're my watchdogs.